Okay, I am ready. So today we're going to talk about how to effectively use video to market your law firm. This is something we're really excited about here at James. As you may have seen, the world is moving towards video. We have the creation of what feels like a new social media platform every day based on video. If we've seen anything in this pandemic, TikTok is one of the new platforms that people are going crazy for video there. And we really like video as a medium for marketing your law firm. So before we dive into that, I just want to know, just to kind of take the pulse, have you made any changes to your social media marketing since last session, or is there something you've implemented that you hadn't done before? I know it was only 2 weeks ago, but I just love to know in the chat if you got anything out of that session that's changed the way that you're looking at your social media marketing. Okay, getting more involved in learning. That's awesome, William. I think so often social media can feel a little elusive. And I really think that's a fabulous thing that you're doing. Okay, so to recap, we are here talking about marketing. In many ways, marketing is a numbers game. So I need a certain number of qualified eyeballs to get a certain number of qualified leads to get a certain number of clients. And I think it's important to keep this in mind anytime we're zooming in on a specific channel or a tactic, to keep in mind the bigger picture and what we're trying to do here. And our goal in these sessions is really to make your firm growth simpler by making online marketing simpler and provide some education for you to think about different channels in different ways you may have not considered, like William talking about getting more involved in his social media marketing. So in general, we're using the same framework every time we talk about your firm growth and we talk about marketing. We're looking at how are we generating leads, how are we qualifying leads, and how are we nurturing leads. Too often I see people focus solely on lead generation, like let's get new people coming our way. And we forget there's often a lot of people already in our worlds, already interacting with our firm and our firm assets in some way, shape, or form, that if we just work on qualifying them and nurturing them, we could convert more of our already existing traffic into prospects and clients. So what I love about video is that video really covers all three of these aspects of better firm growth. It can generate more leads for us, it can also qualify leads for us, and it can nurture leads for us. And we can use it beyond just marketing, but also through the client life cycle and ensuring that we turn clients into raving fans. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So why should you use video as a marketing strategy? There are 3 things that I really think video does a great job of. First of all, you can stand out from your competition. It can be very time consuming, very expensive to produce videos. And by James Amplifier coming in and creating videos for you, we've taken a lot of the heavy lifting off your plate. And you can really stand out from other people in your area who either may not have videos, or maybe their videos don't have the same quality of content in them. And you can really demonstrate to prospects, I know what I'm talking about. This is what it's going to be like working with me, because you get a different experience when you interact with someone over video than when you just see the written word. And you may be talking about some aspects of their case that apply to them and really allow them to say, you know what, this is the right attorney for me. The other thing I love about video is you can educate your prospect and convey your expertise. Sometimes we get leads coming our way who aren't very sales ready, meaning they don't really understand the basics of what they're coming to us for. And when we educate our prospects, you will get better questions on sales calls. You will get a prospect that is going to be more likely to pull the trigger because they're far more informed, and they're not going to be, I think video does a good job of weeding out tire kickers, because you can convey a lot of really great information in a video about who you serve, how you serve them, frequently asked questions. There's just lots of things you can do to say, here's who's ready to work for me, without necessarily explicitly saying that on a video. So I really love video in terms of how do we qualify those leads by educating and elevating our prospects' understanding of what we do. Cara, you may have some thoughts also on that specific piece. So I'll pass the mic over to you.
Yeah, sure, Lauren. So, I mean, certainly, all of us on this call, we look at a lot of attorney websites, right? Like we're always looking at attorney websites, and very rarely is there anything that's really distinguishable, unique, different about these websites. And to Lauren's point, video is the most efficient, most effective, and as part of the amplifier, it's definitely also the most affordable way of distinguishing yourself, right? As Lauren puts it, you need to start building that trust as soon as you can. And it's just the simplest way of doing that, especially in this, Zoom era, right? Where you're likely seeing fewer prospects, fewer clients face to face. It's just such a great avenue. Video really isn't sort of optional anymore. It's a critical piece of the marketing puzzle. And that's why we have put so much emphasis on it and helping you continually grow the collection of videos. So certainly, an educated prospect is a better prospect, makes a much higher value client, as Lauren says. And then what a wonderful way to really showcase your expertise, convey your caring, and again, it all goes down to kind of building that trust. You want your prospects to be able to relate to you, to be able to recognize pretty quickly that you have handled cases very similar to the legal situation that they're experiencing. And again, like this will be a common theme today. The best way, the easiest way to do that is really through video. So we'll get into some specifics and some content, but yeah, I mean, just reinforcing what Lauren says, it's just a must right now, and that's why we're excited to help you grow that collection.
So to Kara's point, I really see video as speeding up the sales process by speeding up this concept we talk about in marketing called the know, like, and trust factor. And so there's a great metaphor that I think really helps explain this, which is if you think about someone choosing you as a client a little bit like dating, sometimes we jump the gun and someone who barely knows us, we're asking them to come meet our parents or to come marry us. And at that point, it's kind of like, oh, this feels a little spammy. This feels a little too salesy. I'm not that comfortable with this. Prospects can feel like, oh, they're jumping the gun. I'm not ready. I'm just looking for more information. I'm just trying to feel out, are you the right person for me? Do you understand my problem? But I'm not yet ready to hire. And what video does is it kind of replicates that in-person experience, but from the comfort of someone's own home. They can sit on their couch, they can sit in their living room, they can watch videos about you and really get a feel for who you are in a way that would take a lot of email touch points or a lot of phone calls or a lot of educational content over email, which by the way serves a role, but video, you can spend 10 minutes on video and get a feel for who they are as a person and whether they think that you guys are going to be a good fit or not for them. So at the end of the day, people are hiring you as a human. They're not just hiring your firm. They want to get along with you. They want to feel like, William really understands my problem and he's really authoritative and I feel like he's going to represent me well in this case. And video really allows them to do that. People don't just know, like, and trust you overnight. I was having this conversation with someone else. Like, you don't spend 10 minutes with someone and then know them, like them, and trust them. But on video, you can really speed that up. It's not going to take 25 email touch points to be like, oh, do I like Kara? Is she going to be enjoyable to work with? Do I trust that she has my back? Do I know who she is? And so I think video is just such a beautiful way of doing this. And that's why I really love that we're creating all these great educational videos for you, because we can just really help someone make a decision quickly by just spending 10 minutes on video with you.
Lauren, definitely helps qualify those prospects too, right? So, it's a great tool for you as the attorney to convey who you can really help, right? And who you may not be able to help. And it's a really great way of kind of screening out those prospects before they ever get to you or someone on your team, so that you're kind of creating a little bit of that exclusivity, right? Which can certainly go a long way, so that they understand, if you are the best fit for them. More than likely, your prospects are interviewing several attorneys, and the sooner in the process that they can understand, if you are the right person to handle their specific situation. Video also is a great way to convey, not just the type of cases that you handle, but specifically, what are some past situations? What are some past sort of fact patterns that you specialize in, or that you want to attract more of? And really outlining those in your video. In your videos helps to kind of qualify and screen out those prospects as well.
Yeah, and I like to think of right fit clients not just as right fit clients in terms of, is their case the right case for me, but also, are they someone who we're going to work well together? Because I think, I'm guessing everyone listening on this call has had an experience with a client where it was a tough relationship, even though uh, by the book, their case looked like a perfect case for you, but maybe they weren't the most enjoyable client to work with for whatever reason. And in many ways, videos helps with that too, because you're showcasing your personality, or at least your personality, your work personality, and you're showcasing kind of some of your strengths. And if that doesn't jive with someone else, like, it's like dating. It's okay. We're not all meant to date each other. Like, there's some right fit clients and there's some not right fit clients. So I like to think about qualification, not just have I handled these cases before, but also, am I the right personality for this client? Am I the right attorney for this client? And that, I find, is missing from a lot of attorney websites. Like, the copy's all very much the same. Hey, I serve personal injury cases in this geography, but I really don't know what distinguishes this attorney from another attorney who's doing the exact same thing in my area. And I think video is a great way to do that and qualify prospects, not just from their case standpoint, but also, are they going to be a good person for you to work with, a good fit client? Okay, so I'd love to talk a little bit about how the production process works for the videos that we are creating for you guys, so you are intimately familiar with every step along the way, and really seeing how we can take a lot of the heavy lifting for you, and all you have to do is show up on Zoom, and then we'll produce some great quality videos for you. So the way this works is, we first start with monthly Zoom shoots, and we're going to create 1 to 2 videos without any on-site disruption for you. So there's no production team setting up in your office. You are just showing up on Zoom with, and I'll let Cara speak to this, ideally a little bit of good lighting. Mike and Cara are then going to join you for the first few minutes for some strategic marketing guidance. They're going to help you understand what role that specific video is going to play in your marketing, and then also answer any other marketing questions that you have. And then we're going to run through 30 minutes of recording using pre-prescribed scripts, in addition to any of your own words that you might want to add, or specific cases that are in a similar vein that you might want to speak to. So Cara, I'll let you dive in a little deeper on this.
Yeah, sure. So, Lauren, we really are trying to, our goal is to streamline the whole process. So, and we really feel like we've kind of leveled the playing field in a lot of ways by offering these virtual Zoom shoots, right? So in the past, really the only option available to attorneys is to, dedicate 1 to 2 full days on site, bring a crew in, get your whole team involved, and frankly, spend tens of thousands of dollars, right? So by us including videos, monthly videos in your program, we're really able to kind of level that playing field. And just a quick side note, if you're unsure if videos are included in your subscription, please reach out to our customer success team, help at jamespublishing.com. No, that's not right.
It's help at jamespublishing.com or help at jamesamplifier.com, and I'll drop that in the chat.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So reach out there if you're unsure, and we'll educate you or get you set up depending. But it really is, it's a Zoom shoot that's very similar to what we're doing right now. It's once a month, as Lauren mentioned. We like to keep these shoots to right around 30 minutes, and we're providing scripts, we're providing topics talking points, or along with sort of guidance just to kind of pull you through and support you on these shoots. We have our video interviewers are really top notch, and they get you set up. Typically that first video shoot takes a little bit of extra setup. We just want to make sure you have right background, the lighting is okay, the audio sounds good. And then the subsequent shoots, we get rolling pretty quickly. But, just know that really all you have to do is show up. I mean, there's a little bit of preparation. We will send you the scripts ahead of time. Certainly, it's nice to kind of review those ahead of time, but we handle everything else for you. So of course, all the post-production work, our team of in-house video editors, we're layering our content on top of the footage that we're gathering in those live shoots. And that's kind of the key there, right? So we're adding our slides, our B-roll, we're adding, stats and figures, again, backed by our content. So that's really what makes these videos unique. They're practical, they're full of kind of, helpful advice. We shoot videos that answer common prospect questions. We shoot videos that kind of take the prospect through past cases, like we were mentioning earlier, varying fact patterns. Let's get a growing collection of past case videos so that when prospects come to your site, they're able to find, they're able to watch you talk about a situation that's very similar to the one that they're experiencing. Those are very powerful. The past client experiences, the past client videos have been probably one of the most popular and most compelling. We also like to shoot videos kind of about the firm, what initially drew you to the law or your area of practice. Why are you in this, and give some context around who you are as an attorney, who you are as a person. And again, building that trust. We're looking to add many different types of videos to this offering. We're starting out gathering some video client testimonials from your past clients. We're looking at some sort of whiteboard style presentation videos. So we're expanding pretty aggressively in this area, and you will only benefit for no additional cost, but you will only benefit as we continue kind of building out the video offering. And I think you'll really see a difference, because we're not just shooting one video, right? We're building a collection. You're constantly, every month, receiving fresh custom videos. And that's really kind of the unique kind of game changer there. We'll talk about soliciting the videos and kind of what we do with those in a moment, but definitely reach out if you have not shot a video. If you're not totally sure if it's included in your program, reach out really, because this is one of the, if not the most valuable elements in the program, and it's just getting better and better. So ask any questions here or reach out after.
That's fabulous. And I'd just like to highlight, although Cara did mention this, that all the video editing is done for you. We smooth out the audio and visual presentation, and we add B-roll slides, so it's a very dynamic video. It's not just looking at you head on, speak on Zoom for the entirety of the video. So it keeps people engaged. It's really informative, but it's not boring, for lack of a better word. Anything else editing that I may have missed, Cara, that you didn't touch on?
I don't know, Mike, did I miss anything?
I think you covered most of it. I mean, like Lauren just mentioned, it's B-roll, there's music in the background, there's custom motion graphics. So it's a really dynamic and entertaining clip. Again, much like Lauren said, much better than just a talking head on a screen. So really doing a lot of the legwork for you.
I'm going to drop in the chat just a link where you can see a whole bunch of samples. So feel free to click there. And we're always adding more samples to that page. But on the James Amplifier site, you can see how impressive the videos turn out, varying types, varying specialties. So take a look there.
So once we've produced these videos, the next step is distribution. So let's talk through how distribution works, where the videos get distributed. and what that looks like. So the first place we post them is on your website. So they're displayed on your homepage using our unique conversion center. And this really helps you stand out from the competition, builds trust and familiarity, as we talked about, and it's on the most prominent page in your site. I'm guessing for most of your firms that the homepage and maybe the about page are the most highly trafficked pages on your site. And we really want to put that video in front of prospects right away. So Cara, maybe you can talk a little bit about what some of the attorneys have seen after putting their videos on their homepage and what that looks like.
Yeah, definitely. So we really want to put these videos in as many places as we can. We're building out conversion centers that you will hear more about very shortly, hopefully in the next few weeks, that will really showcase these videos and really pull your prospects kind of through the education, through the funnels, and all the way kind of through to setting an appointment with you. But right away, we'll help you add the videos to your site. Certainly, we're kind of peppering them throughout the nurturing email sequences. We're adding them to social media, and I think you'll get to that. I'm jumping the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, as far as staying focused on websites, I mean, it's certainly, like I mentioned before, it's pretty rare that you see videos, especially a video collection on law firm websites. Quite often you'll see the kind of above the fold kind of spotlight about the firm video. Those are great, of course, but we're much more focused on that growing collection, keeping these fresh. It's kind of like when you go on a blog and there hasn't been a post since 2015 or whatever, right? You don't want these videos to get stale. So we're always refreshing. Every single month you're getting these fresh videos, and we're automatically adding them to your website, again, to help with that conversion rate. You undoubtedly have could be a rather large group of folks who come into your site. They're just not quite ready to book that consult, not quite ready to give you a call. And you can imagine how compelling it would be as a prospect to just watch you discuss the situation that they're going through and set them at ease. They're scared. They likely are, there's some anxiety more than likely associated with the situation that they're going through. So the more you can educate them, provide that value, of course, that's kind of what directly contributes to that increased conversion rate, right? Rather than just leaving and, okay, well, this guy serves my area, but, I don't really know much about him. Let's engage, let's get them, on that track to kind of trust the firm and trust you, and answer many of their questions and keep in touch in the meantime. So I know we'll move past websites, but really we do want to kind of distribute these videos in any way that we can, because really producing them, I mean, that's kind of the bulk of the work, right? But if no one sees them, then, obviously we have some work to do. So I'll let Lauren continue, and we'll talk more about where else that we put them for you.
Yeah, and I just also like to highlight the growing library is so beautiful because you can't answer every single question in one video. That would be a very long video and get a little boring for people to watch. But the growing library allows people to kind of binge like you might on Netflix, where it's like, let me pick and choose the videos that are most relevant to my situation and then just keep watching until I feel confident enough to take the next step. So I just think it's so exciting to be able to just every month get new videos and be building that library, so that it's hard to compete with someone else who doesn't have 20 videos explaining every single situation that they serve, and you get a feel for who they are as an attorney. It's hard to compete with someone like that. So it's just a great way to stand out.
Definitely. I love the idea of binge watching legal videos. I like that.
It might not be something you do every day, but if your situation is painful enough, you certainly will, to make sure you hire the right person.
That's right.
Okay, so the second place we distribute your videos right now is we send them alongside your shock and awe package, as well as the educational nurturing email sequence that leads receive when they opt in. This further distinguishes you from the competition, builds even more trust and familiarity, and it serves the right content to the right people. Someone who's opted in and become a lead instead of an anonymous website visitor is at a different stage in the buying process than someone who's just browsing the website but hasn't given you contact information. So this really allows us to serve up the right content to the right lead who's at that phase. So Cara, can you talk a little bit more about which videos you're sending alongside the shock and awe package and what's worked well so far?
Yeah, so with the shock and awe, specifically describing a little bit about the process, right? Kind of what to expect, what will be expected of the client, what they can expect of the office, certainly as well as answering common questions from prospects. So that's really, that's the kind of content that's highly valuable to your prospective client. So that's primarily what we're including there. It's what we found to be the most effective. And as we produce and create new types of videos, I think there'll be additional options there. But certainly that's kind of our focus now and where we've seen it be effective.
That's great. Okay, so the third place we distribute is in client cultivation. So after someone's become a client, often there's this thing called buyer's remorse. You may be familiar with it, maybe you've experienced it yourself, or maybe you've had some clients get nervous right after they sign. When you're making any sort of big investment or putting faith in someone else, it's common to feel a little bit nervous after you sign a contract. And so we're really trying to keep marketing going beyond just how do we take a lead and convert them into a client, but how do we take a client and convert them into a very confident client who's feels like they made the right choice and who's going to ultimately refer us to other people in the same situation. So immediately when they receive the welcome kit and reassurance email series, they are receiving other videos from you, and it helps start that working relationship off positively, and it lets them know what to expect. Just like we want to let leads know what to expect when they sign with us, we again are reinforcing that and letting them know what to expect again. There's a great book called How to Never Lose a Customer Again, and by Joey Coleman. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. But they really talk about that buyer's remorse and how a lot of people just get really scared post-purchase. And in order to turn someone into a referral and an advocate for your firm, we really want to reassure them throughout the whole client process and that our marketing doesn't stop just because someone's become a client. So this is really what we're trying to accomplish with these videos. And Cara, maybe you can speak a little bit about the content that's served up here and during this phase of the life cycle.
Yeah, I mean, Lauren, I think you nailed it. I mean, it's exactly about combating that buyer's remorse. It really is. And the beauty of providing that information via video, pre-recorded video, is you're kind of filling that gap, that natural kind of communication gap that so often occurs between, retention and when that visible work is actually seen. And if you can just, automatically fill that with a video, I mean, that will save a ton of your time, as well as, of course, to all of Lauren's points, will reassure and provide that great positive first impression that you're looking for, and again, kind of fill that communication gap. Because as we've said many times before, if they don't hear anything from your firm, right after signing, they're engaged, they're ready to go, they want to start working toward a resolution. And if they don't hear much from your firm, they're just going to assume nothing is happening, unfortunately, right? Despite the fact that you and your team are hard at work on their case, if they don't know that or understand the process or, know kind of what to expect, they're going to assume that not a lot is happening. And that's when that buyer's remorse, might set in. So yeah, I mean, it's so critical, and video is just such a great way to fill that gap.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot that we assume clients understand because we've already described it once or twice or 10 times in communications with them. But people forget, they're bombarded with a lot of messages, and just reinforcing, okay, now you're a client, this is what happens next. You may not hear from us for a little bit, but we are hard at work and here's what we're doing. People like to be informed. It makes them feel like they're in control of the situation, even if that's an illusion. But it allows you to convey information that maybe you would normally repeat a lot in a way that's much more leveraged. So you and your team can focus your time on where it's best spent, which is, working on the case instead of saying the same thing over and over again. So it's a really leveraged video that I think is just often missing in really any purchase process. And I think it's a great way to stand out.
Yeah, it's really just increasing that transparency, right? Which really directly kind of, segues into a positive client experience. So it's, what can you do to increase that transparency and then bring that, positive customer service experience throughout the life cycle.
Wonderful. So the fourth place we distribute your videos is we post them alongside in your Facebook and LinkedIn feeds alongside the other weekly content that Amplifier is posting. So this is very public, very front and center, and video often gets far more engagement on social than other types of content. And when I say engagement, it may not get a lot of public comments, but you'll notice the engagement in views. People stick around for longer. You can see, although it's changing, but you can see how often people watch videos and how long they watch videos. And so this really gives some dynamic content that one is going to stand out in your feed, but also conveys a lot of valuable information and is really designed to help move people from social followers into prospects. And if you don't yet have profiles on Facebook or LinkedIn, we can help you create them.
Yeah, and I think to this particular point, when Lauren's talking about, you're scrolling through your feed and there's dynamic content, imagine if you just saw someone talking directly to you, right? And you're scrolling through, okay, it's someone just talking at you. Well, what if there's something different, like, again, the motion graphics? There's something more interesting than just a face speaking to you. That's the kind of content that we produce, and that's why it's interesting to post on your social feeds.
Definitely. It's like, we want to provide that, what do they call it? The scroll stopper content, right? You don't want to just be passed over. They're being bombarded with content, from all directions. So why not? I mean, it's just, video is just so perfectly paired for social media. And we're focused specifically on Facebook and LinkedIn initially. We feel like those are, that's kind of the lowest hanging fruit. We have had some demand, some interest in Twitter and Instagram, actually. So we're planning to really sort of expand that. But if you're starting somewhere, starting with Facebook and then also kind of LinkedIn from more of a networking perspective, those two, are kind of the best places to get that content out there, at least initially.
Great. So in short, our videos are covering the entire lead and client lifecycle. And as Cara said, we are building more and more videos for you to use throughout this whole process. And whether this is your first marketing mentor or you've been attending for a while, you'll know that we've been talking about the 5 stages of awareness for quite a long time, which is, people go from unaware to problem aware to solution aware to most aware. And we really want those videos to pull them through by conveying different types of information. So why you started the firm, why you got into law, let's add some social proof by sharing client testimonials. Let's explain that you've helped people in their situation by describing some of the cases you've worked on. Let's showcase your personality. And that really helps address all of those stages during all of those stages of awareness. So we're really excited about this. We're really excited about all the videos we can produce for you. And, we're excited about them covering all 3 areas of lead generation, lead qualification, and lead nurturing. There's very few mediums that can do all of that, and video is a great one for that very reason. And the beauty is all you have to do is show up and either follow the script or add a little bit to it. So before we dive into questions, I do want to let you know that our next marketing mentor session is July 15th. We are going to be about 6 months through the year. So we did this at the beginning of the year and we are going to do it again, but we are going to review your current lead generation strategy. This is going to be a little more interactive. You can come on audio or on visual if you want. And we're going to talk through how to evaluate your lead generation strategy and look at what should you continue doing, what should you maybe stop, and what maybe where there's maybe room for improvement. So I know everyone here is focused on how do we get more leads, and so that's what we're going to talk about. And then we are doing more marketing education in our free community. I will drop this link in a second in the chat, but just wanted to remind you to show up there and keep an eye out for some of the videos that we're doing and some mini tutorials. Last week, I posted a little video on some quick optimizations you can do to your Facebook profile to make sure that people know what you do and are thinking about you and you're staying top of mind. So definitely make sure to check that out. And then in the meantime, we can open for some questions. I know there are a few in the chat that maybe Mike or Cara can answer first.
Yeah, Mike, do you want to take Stephen's questions?
Yeah, so let me just start with the one that I just answered. So Stephen asked, what if I have multiple locations? I have multiple Facebook pages. Our software doesn't currently have the capability to, let's say, post to 5 Facebook pages simultaneously. Sorry about that. But we are working on that capability. In the meantime, of course, if we produce videos for you, those clips, you can share them manually. So there's nothing stopping you from posting those clips to multiple different pages. We highly encourage you to do so. So that's a great strategy. The software, of course, is always under development. There are always new features coming, like the conversion center that we had mentioned earlier. So just because the software doesn't currently have an ability, we're always working on improvements. So if you ever have anything that specifically you would like to see, let us know. We can always develop it for you. And like I said, that system is coming in the future.
I would add to that briefly too, Mike, Stephen, I'd like to look at your Facebook pages. It might be a good idea to combine those pages. It's tough to keep one page updated with content, never mind multiple. So, typically I would recommend, if you do have multiple locations, just having that kind of one umbrella page. But that's something I'd love to look at specifically in your case to make sure that there's nothing, somewhat unique there. But, I would also recommend, it will just make it easier for you to, keep fresh content out in going out, and also kind of growing your community, growing your followers on just one page. But again, I'll reach out. I see that you emailed me too, so that's great. So we can talk after this.
That's a great point, Cara.
Yeah, social media profiles are a little different than like local Google business listings, where you would want multiple ones, but you're accomplishing two different things with those two platforms. So I agree with your assessment.
Just quickly, Joe asked about cost. So as part of our $6.95 a month package, you get these monthly videos that we're referring to. So reach out and we can talk about specifics, but typically the custom videos are included in the $6.95 a month package, which just by looking at the list of attendees, many of you are in that tier, but reach out and we'll talk about how to get you started if you're interested.
So I thought also we could mention, if you guys have any recommendations for how to show up and make sure that you're set up with the right background and the lighting, maybe that's something we could address here a little bit, just to give some ideas to people who are thinking, hey, I haven't done my video shoot yet. What should I have prepared on my end?
Yeah, that's good. So before your first shoot, our interviewer will actually send you a pretty concise checklist to make sure that your surroundings are, kind of optimal, give you some specific, advice on the background. Audio, we'll actually send you a microphone, an external microphone if you don't have one. Audio quality is really important, though, we've kind of all grown accustomed to the Zoom video format, right? This doesn't need to be, super high production value. We're kind of used to seeing newscasters and government officials coming to us, from their home on Zoom. So that part of it is great. But of course, we want to kind of make it as professional and high quality as possible. So we've actually done quite a bit of experimenting with, we tried some virtual backgrounds, and that was cutting people's ears off, and it was a little bit awkward. So we basically just try to help you find a spot in your office that is just not distracting. Maybe there's a bookshelf behind you. Typically, we find that your desk, has a pretty decent background. We can kind of help you clean it up depending, but Alex and Abby, our current video interviewers, they'll definitely spend some time at the top of that first interview to really, adjust your camera, make sure your eye level, make sure you're looking at the camera, not, down at yourself or, or the interviewer. So we really do get you set up. We recommend, the audio, the lighting, if you have a ring light, like I have hooked to my laptop, that's great. If not, maybe a window, right in front of you also creates a great setting. So as far as all of the logistics go, we get you set up and make sure that we're, that you look great. And our editors do some magic post-production as well. So we've been pretty happy with the high quality that we've been able to achieve, again, just through these Zoom shoots. Lauren, a question that I actually get a lot from prospects about videos is, so I practice in multiple specialties, right? And either I'm asked, one of two things, either how should I prioritize, right? So should I be shooting videos for both areas, but then also how do I display those videos on my website that might, cover, again, multiple areas. So first, from kind of a marketing amplifier perspective, we're more than happy, as long as your specialty is one of our 7 core specialties that we currently cover. We're more than happy to help you add on those additional specialties, give you the scripting. And actually, as I'm saying this, we're also experimenting with outside specialties. So we're really expanding this. So no matter what the area is, feel free to reach out and we'll see how we can help you. But, I would say don't limit yourself, right? So, certainly putting the most relevant videos on the pages that, kind of correspond. So, put your injury related FAQ videos, near and on your injury landing pages. Put your disability content, put your disability videos, on those disability pages. So, it's not really, I think that kind of tends to trip attorneys up a little bit, like, well, I feel like I handle so many cases. Well, let's start chipping away, right? Like, let's just start somewhere. And that's kind of the beauty of this growing collection as well, is, we'll work through it, right? I mean, this is an ongoing effort, and the more topics you can cover to kind of help the wider net of prospects, assuming that, those are the types of cases that you want to attract, then we're more than happy to kind of add those on for you and help you really kind of spotlight them in the best way on your site and through email and social and all of that.
Cara, do you recommend starting with one specialty and getting the videos throughout the kind of entire life cycle first and then moving on to the second specialty? Or would you kind of go at it all at the same time and chip away, like, okay, let's do all the everything for lead follow-up, all of those videos first, and then everything for client, welcome kit, and do all of those first for all the specialties? How do you recommend going about that?
Yeah, that's such a great question, and one that I get all the time too. So really, it sort of depends on the situation. I mean, typically I like staying a bit focused at the beginning, especially when you're kind of getting used to the format and the process of just how we do things. The first couple months, let's stick with one area of practice, and then let's add on. So, the way that we kind of have things structured now, we're shooting multiple videos during one shoot, meaning we're getting enough footage for 2 or 3 videos in some cases during one 30-minute session. So, we're really, we're pretty efficient with the kind of the collection of the footage. And once you're comfortable with the approach and the process, then it makes adding on the additional specialty pretty simple.
That's great.
What questions? Any other questions? No, I know there's got to be some.
I know.
I hear, I also hear a lot about, What can I do? So let's say, you're answering a lot of common prospect questions in these videos, and that's kind of what you're comfortable with. You maybe have your own scripts for that. How off script basically can you go? I mean, these are this is your content as far as, how you want it to play out. So we have some attorneys who really appreciate following a word for word script, and we have that option. On the other hand, we also have kind of more higher level talking points if that just helps you with kind of a jumping off point, or you can be completely freewheeling. But we've shot enough of these that we really know kind of the questions to ask and the narrative to kind of create that is the most impactful, most compelling, most effective for your prospects. So, not only are we removing the burden, we're handling all the editing and keeping you accountable on these monthly video shoots, but if you need it, we're providing as much or as little of the content as possible. So, if you want to start with a past case video, great. If you want to start with an FAQ, a frequently asked question video, let's do that. It's kind of, in the kind of discovery process, me and Mike and our team of customer success managers, we're really getting to know your business and your firm, and we're happy to kind of make recommendations of where we think the gaps are or how we can kind of fill those holes and kind of align our recommendations with your goals and create a really nice video roadmap, so you can very clearly see where we've been, where we're going, and how we're going to kind of sustain these videos on an ongoing basis. So just know that there is some flexibility. These are custom, and we did have a question about who owns the content. So an easy way to kind of look at it is the videos that contain our content, James Publishing copyrighted content. Upon cancellation, you would need to stop using those videos. However, anything that is about the firm, anything that you're providing, the scripting and the content, you actually retain those, you keep those indefinitely, and we actually will provide you the files, in case you cancel. But the vast majority of our subscribers stick around, because the whole idea is you want to keep that growing collection. Again, you don't want it to get stagnant. So, yeah.
What I like too about the scripts that you're providing is sometimes the hardest part about producing any type of content, whether it's written or video, is what do I talk about? Like that blank page syndrome. So you're really giving a great starting point. And then if you want to tweak some things or make it your own, you're not just staring at a white sheet of paper thinking, where do I start? So you kind of have this roadmap to start with, and then you can build upon it as you get more comfortable or as you want to personalize.
Yeah, and the best way to get more comfortable is to just do this, right? You have to just, and those ums and ahs and the stumbling, it just makes you more authentic, right? Like, it doesn't need to be perfect. It makes you more approachable, more relatable, and you'll just get better the more of these videos that you record. So, don't feel like it needs to be perfect right out of the gate. The important part, to Lauren's point, is just get the content, just get started, get the content out there, and it'll get easier and hopefully more enjoyable as well.
And Cara, one other question. You mentioned client testimonials. Can you speak to how that process works and how you're securing that kind of video?
Yeah, so we're just kind of putting our toe in the water here. We're really excited about this because, I mean, it's sort of the marketing gold, right? To get testimonials, and then a step above is actually a video testimonial from your happy past clients, right? So you might be asking them for a Google review, but really, the compelling, kind of really convincing asset is to gather that video testimonial from your past clients. So essentially, we will ask you for a list of past clients that you think would make for a quality testimonial, and we do everything else. So we reach out, of course, with your approval, but we reach out to your past client, we actually get them on a Zoom, again, just similar to this. We gather that video testimonial, we edit it if necessary, and then we're distributing it, adding it to your site, using it in many different ways. Again, that growing collection of video testimonials. So as with everything, that all elements of Amplifier, we really want to take that burden off your plate. So very little is required from you, but we have heard from quite a few attorneys that they would love to have a steady flow of past client video testimonials, but that's not always easy to do, right? It's a bit time consuming, right? Of course, you've got to reach out to that past client. You have to make sure that they have time for the video, and we help kind of pull out the most compelling pieces and help the past client really kind of comprehensively describe their experience with you, with your firm, kind of the burden that was lifted off of them once, your firm took over and handled their case, and then what the outcome was like, how were things resolved, and even, the relationship on an ongoing basis. So yeah, we're really excited about the client testimonial videos. Anyone on this call, if you're interested, we're really just basically creating some early samples now. So if you have any past clients that you'd like us to reach out to, let us know, and we'll do that right away.
Amazing. So I'm just gonna give you guys a minute or two for any further questions you might have, but if we've answered everything, then I think we'll call it, and we'll see you next time in July. If you have any questions that you don't want to ask here, definitely use those emails that Mike put in the chat. So help@jamespublishing.com or help@jamesamplifier, and the team will get back to you with some answers.
Thanks so much, Lauren.
Yeah, okay, it looks, oh, Ed, thank you. That's really awesome. So Ed saying he thought I had signed on for a service, but I'm excited that we also have a partner committed to our success. And I really think that's what we are trying to do here at James, is be your partner and collaborate with you to make sure that you're getting the most out of everything that we're creating for you. Okay, thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you on July 15th.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.